How many times have you had to stop working on an orchestration just because writing expressions or choosing the right key switches took forever? Or maybe you had the perfect violin melody in your head but no idea how to make it sound realistic? I've definitely been there. Now there's a solution. The AI Violin from Ace Studio. But first, a personal story. I downloaded a multi-MIDI file of the full orchestration from the movie Schindler's List. I loaded it into Ace Studio, assigned the violins to every instrument and hit play. And I got a little emotional. Anyway, welcome back to Noise Harmony. In today's video we're checking out a new plugin from Ace Studio. They actually reached out to us and said, hey, wanna try out AI Violin? And we thought, why not? We've played around with a bunch of big name orchestral VSTs already. So let's see how this stacks up. So what even is Ace Studio? Ace Studio is a standalone plugin powered by AI. Their first flagship tool was an AI singing voice generator, and now they've expanded into orchestral instruments with the new AI Violin. Today we'll explore how Ace Studio works and what it's capable of. We'll put it to the test in a blind listening challenge and show you how it performs in a real soundtrack production. So let's get a quick look at Ace Studio first. It's kinda like a mini DAW that runs in the cloud. You can render AI-generated instruments and vocals directly in the cloud. You can drop in MIDI, audio, balance levels, pan stuff around, throw on EQ, compression, reverb, the basics. There's even a built-in stem splitter and vocals to MIDI and lyrics converter. Right now the AI Violin is still in beta, so it's not finished yet. The devs are actively working on it. They're improving expression, adding new controls, and building more instruments. For now, you've got 3 violin voices to choose from: Gabriel Boschi, Vintage Violin 1 and Vintage Violin 2. But let's get to the fun stuff. To start things off, we're going to play you 3 short versions of Paganini's Caprice number 24. One of them was performed by a real human violinist. The other 2 were created using the AI Violin in Ace Studio. Let's do a little blind test. Try to guess which one's the real violinist. A, B or C? Drop your answers in the comments, and don't worry, it's not as easy as it sounds. Honestly, internally we couldn't agree which one is a real violinist when we first listened. The AI Violin quite realistically reflects articulation based on MIDI note length and musical context, which adds a surprising amount of realism to the performance. And we've spent a lot of time working with violin sample libraries and virtual instruments. That alone says a lot about Ace Studio's capabilities. Now let's look at something more practical: soundtrack production. A while ago we composed a piece for a video game. We used traditional sample libraries. We spent hours blending different violin patches, layering, adjusting expression, drawing automation, editing velocities and choosing perfect key switches. You know the drill. To show you just how much faster Ace Studio can make a workflow, we ran a little experiment. We took the original raw MIDI we used for the string section in our soundtrack and dropped it straight into Ace Studio. From there, we picked the violin voices, stacked a couple of them to get a fuller tone, adjusted the stereo placement, and rendered the final audio. We replaced the original strings in Logic Pro with the ones from Ace, matched the volume levels and, well, just listen for yourself. The result? A surprisingly expressive string section, with a fraction of the effort. At this stage of AI Violin development, There is no manual control over expression or articulation yet. However, the final result is convincing enough, and with a bit of post-processing, you can really make it work. And for us, that's kind of the point of Ace Studio. It speeds up your workflow without sacrificing musicality. It's also super beginner-friendly. You literally don't need to know anything about playing violin. You don't have to understand articulation terms. The AI handles the interpretation for you. Of course, it will be great once they add manual articulation controls so you can fine-tune the performance. But for absolute beginners, this is already a powerful and easy solution. But remember, it's still worth learning the basics. So, what stood out the most while working with Ace Studio? First, there is no need to manually draw in expression curves or program key switches like you would with traditional VST libraries. It's all handled automatically. Second, the speed. You can go from blank project to a pretty convincing violin section in just few minutes. And since everything renders in the cloud, you don't have to worry about huge sample libraries eating up your drive space. The interface is clean and intuitive, and we love the built-in tools. There is a stem splitter, audio to MIDI conversion, notation import, and even a lightweight piano roll editor that actually gets the job done. Importing and exporting audio or MIDI is super simple, and the tools are very beginner-friendly. But like any new tool, Ace Studio has its quirks. Cloud rendering can cause short delays or playback stutters. In our experience, the more tracks you render at once, the longer the wait, so for larger arrangements, rendering can slow things down a bit. Also, the ensemble mode isn't fully natural yet. Though splitting notes across tracks helps, there's no velocity sensitivity, and in plugin MIDI recording offers only basic preview with no real-time expression control. AI-generated performances are also a bit unpredictable, and trying to fix the problems just by adjusting MIDI note lengths can be a bit frustrating. Ace Studio AI Violin genuinely surprised us. It's really capable of producing emotionally convincing string performances. Once expression control is added, this could become a real competitor to traditional orchestral sampler libraries, and even a first choice for many producers. We really can't wait to try it. The ease of use, cloud rendering, and the simplicity of the UI are huge wins for the workflow. We're still not sure how the AI understands and recreates performance so naturally, but it absolutely impressed us. In our showcase, we used it for a game soundtrack where expressive string parts really mattered. But Ace Studio's potential goes way beyond that. We can totally see this being used in modern beat production too. That said, when we compared AI Violin to some of the top-tier human performances behind the scenes, it's not quite there yet. If AI keeps going in this direction, that's great. The coolest part is how it helps with the boring stuff so we can just get to the fun part faster. You're still the composer, you're still making the decisions. The AI just speeds things up. So if you're looking for a fast and intuitive way to create expressive, convincing string parts, Ace Studio is definitely worth trying. It's beginner-friendly, requires minimal setup, and delivers impressive results even if you've never worked with virtual instruments before. Just keep in mind it's still evolving, and the current selection of instruments is limited. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. And let us know in the comments what you think about AI-generated strings. Could you tell which version was real? Would you use Ace Studio in your own productions? We're super curious to hear your thoughts. See you next time!